I mean, Rick, why is gun control such a polarizing issue in the United States? We've heard from the pro-gun groups, the anti-gun groups engaging in an ever fierce battle, a war
Well,
of words, if you like.
let me look at it two ways. The first I want to talk about is social, deep within the fabric of the American character. There's a deep division. Yes, 40% of American households have weapons, but that means most don't. Well, I mean, my house, my family is an example of it. I grew up in Philadelphia. Guns to me were instruments of death. I mean, the only times I knew of the use of guns were an accident where the brother of a classmate of mine in elementary school was killed playing with a gun, a loose gun, and the father of one of my classmates who was a businessman, and he was gunned down in a robbery in the Germantown neighborhood of Philadelphia. I saw that as instruments of death. My wife grew up in rural Texas. Her father took her hunting before she even was a teenager, so she knew how to shoot a gun. She looked at it differently at that time. And I think there's a deep division in America between people who say this is part of our life and those who say this is an instrument of death. And we are all urban people who are on your panel today. And so there's a deep division there. So now let me turn that into the political. Especially the US Senate has much more power in rural states and heavily rural states. And because each state gets 2 senators, no matter how many people they have in them. So it is very hard also because of the rules of the Senate. You have to get 60 votes to pass social legislation. Fiscal legislation you can do with 50 votes. So it's very, very hard to do it. And we have seen since the 1990s, no appetite, no matter how horrific the mass murders are, for that to happen. Add it, one more thing I will say is it's a partisan issue where all Republicans in the Senate are against change. Several would be in favor of several small reforms in terms of background checks, but not real gun control. And some Democrats, some moderate Democrats vote with the Republicans. So it's a problem of American democracy, the way representation is, and the fact that Republicans will not allow any kind of major change to the system.